Hello, hello. I'm going to give it a few minutes and then we can get started for today. Hello, welcome. Just going to give it a few more minutes so people have enough time to join. After enough people join, I will start today. I hope everyone is having an amazing day today. I'm also giving my pencil enough time to charge a little bit. I'm pretty sure it is kind of dead, but in the meantime, I'm going to let that charge as we're waiting. We do have a little bit going on today. As you can tell, I have a lot of notes on the side here. I kind of just started picking out colors and stuff for the sketch. Definitely a lot of colors there, a lot of colors. But I'm not exactly sure if I will be using all those colors. I might change it up a little bit. Just kind of a little bit of an idea of what I will start out with. I have a few things I have to change up with the sketch before we do get to the coloring process, but I'm definitely very excited to start a new project. I think my house is haunted. That is pretty scary. Gladly, I don't live in a house that is haunted, which is a good thing, I would say. If anyone is new here, my name is Mochi. I love to do illustrations and connect with my subscribers. Feel free to subscribe and like the live stream. Today is going to be a little bit of a ride, but we're definitely going to have a little fun today. I tried to make it home in time before 6 o'clock, but definitely that did not work out a little bit, so at least I was able to get on live a little bit, a little bit after. Footsteps. Yeah, it definitely sounds like your house is haunted. I'm so very happy that actually one of my shorts kind of blew up from my last drawing, and I'm honestly very thrilled to get all the feedback from you guys and all the love and support. It definitely makes me very happy that you guys enjoyed the project. Also very happy that we got so many new people to my art community. Definitely very exciting for me, and I can't wait till we get to the next, the next stage and stuff. Very exciting. I believe currently we are at 1,318 or something like that. But very exciting for me. Honestly, one of my dreams as an artist, just being able to inspire you guys and, show off the process of my work. It's very exciting for me. Alright guys, so I think I give my pencil a little bit of time to charge. So I am going to start working on this today. I do have a lot of things sketched out, and obviously I have, some references here. Keep in mind these are not owned by me. I do use Pinterest for references and even ideas as well. I do have a few fluffies on my screen. Alright, so if you haven't seen any of my posts or anything like that, or my last video kind of explaining what this drawing is, so I have an idea for a series that I hope you guys would love and enjoy. So this is Snow White, but as the evil queen. My idea for this series is to draw Disney princesses as their villains. I think this would be a fun series for you guys. Hello, welcome. And if anyone is new, yet again, I do have some fun activities coming up around October time and also Christmas time as well. Stuff that I haven't done at all period on this channel. Around Halloween time, I will be starting polls for certain Halloween drawings that I will be doing each week of October. So very exciting and fun. Sadly, I will only be able to do one of these pieces for this, princess series and whatnot, but I will continue it after the Halloween. And Christmas time is definitely going to be very magical for you all, and I'm very excited to just share this experience with you guys. I'm not exactly sure if I should answer that, Carlos. But from the way that I just answered that, I guess you probably know at that point. And thank you so much. I'm glad that you guys enjoy my art style. Alright, so enough yapping. We're definitely going to get started here today. I'm not exactly sure if I should change up some of this stuff. There's some things that I don't like about it, but pretty much I got it, all down and easy. The arms look fine. What is bothering me is some overlapping here over by her hair area, so I'm just gonna erase that a little bit. Just a little bit here, just a little erasing. Yeah, it definitely took you a minute to guess that, though. Like I said, he he doesn't really join the live. Hello, welcome. I mean, he joins, but you guys don't really see him as much, so it definitely was a little bit hard to guess that one. I think that's definitely a little better. What was bothering me was the overlapping a little bit, so I feel like I definitely got that, all done. I also apologize for the background noise. I do have my window open. Alright. Well, let me see what it looked like before. I think I might use a thinner brush, actually, because it kind of made it look more chunky. And I don't really like that. So we're just going to use this thinner brush here. So much better. I also apologize for being quiet here and there. Sometimes I go quiet just to focus, but I do try to talk to you guys as much as I can. Alright. Trying to point out or notice any changes that I have to make before I actually get to the drawing part. I was kind of thinking about changing up her eyebrows, but I kind of wanted to keep it like that because it kind of does give like the evil queen a little bit, so I do like that. What I am going to change though is I think I might make this arm shorter. I feel like it might be a little bit too long. I also will be doing a subscriber count throughout this live stream as well, just to see where we're at. Not exactly sure where my line work is at though. Over here, 25%. He's just playing around, guys. I think that is somewhat better. Let me just see the comparison. Definitely way better. I'm so glad I fixed that up and noticed it before I got to the coloring part. Favorite crayon flavor? That is a very interesting question. Your art style is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. And welcome. Alright guys, so I think that's the best I could do for fixing up things. There's not really much else I can fix up, but that was definitely one of the things that was bothering me a little bit, and I feel like that looks more accurate. So what we're gonna do now is I'm going to start coloring the base, or at least of her skin. So I have obviously a lot of notes over here, so many notes. I also wanted to include Snow White's original colors, but a little bit darker. I love how you drew Snow White. Thank you so much. If you are new here, this is supposed to be Snow White as the evil queen. This will be a series of Disney princesses as their villains. Alright, so I'm going to take this color here, and this was on 20%. Just make sure there's nothing on this layer. Before anyone asks, I don't use any like paintbrush tools or anything like that, or paint bucket, that's what it's called. I like to kind of just have fun with it and just color it in kind of like a notebook. I feel like it's more enjoyable that way. I also wanted to include Snow White's pale skin. I feel like, I mean, obviously in the movies and whatnot, she is not so pale, but in my perspective, you know, in the movies and the book, she is described as having skin pale as snow. So I did want to give her kind of like pale skin a little bit. I have like a million brushes. I also do too. I've actually been downloading a lot of brushes lately, just trying out different styles and whatnot. That's pretty much all I have to do with the skin. So easy, so easy. Alright, so before I get to erasing this, let me just make sure that everything is covered here. Alright, so what I like to do before I erase, you know, the skin color and stuff, I like to start adding in that shading. That way I can get it all erased in one go. So I'm going to make another layer here. Yeah, usually my pieces take, I think, about 3 weeks to a month in total. Mainly because I do like to work on detail and I also really love doing backgrounds. Alright. I'm actually going to, I have my phone plugged in here, so I'm just going to unplug that here real quick. Alright, so this is the color I'm using for the skin shade. I do have everything literally written down to the percentages of the transparency and pretty much everything. So I did have this a little planned out. Mine takes me an hour, but one of my pieces took me 11 hours. I absolutely agree with that. You know, I used to start off doing drawings and I didn't really focus on backgrounds. I didn't do backgrounds at all, to be honest. And it pretty much only took me maybe a few hours to do. Now, sadly, since I am working with detail, this sketch in total actually, I believe it took me maybe 5.5 to 6 hours, which is honestly wild for a sketch. Just getting in the shade here. I am also using a graphite pencil. I pretty much use this for everything. Hello, welcome, welcome. I am also currently using IBS Paint X as well. Like again, I do apologize for the background noise. It does suck. Yeah, sadly, I do live right next to a busy road, so it's kind of hard to avoid the noise. I will be doing a subscriber count here in a second. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I got pretty much everything here. I'm not going to worry too much on the eye creases because that will be covered up by eyeshadow, so... I'm not exactly sure which one I was using last time. I believe it was this. So not worried too much about the shading because I will be using another shading color. Eyeshadow is so fun to do. I agree. That's why I'm also really excited about this piece because I get to do something fun with it. How did you two meet? I'm perfectly comfortable with actually telling you. So, originally when I was in school before homeschooled, I was actually in choir, show choir, which is basically where you dance and you sing, kind of put on a show. So he was also there as well, and that's kind of just how we met. We kind of started off, being strangers and kind of talking here and there, and, we got closer. But yeah, I was in show choir for, I think, a few years. I don't know if my pencil just died. I think it just died, guys. No, it didn't. It bugged. It's funny. Alright. I'm trying not to shade out the arms too much because I feel like it kind of blends in a little bit. Hello, welcome, welcome. Alright, so you can kind of tell there's a little bit of shading, not too much. I didn't want to overdo it because, like I said, I do have another shade color that I'm going to go on top of that. But before we do that, I want to do a little subscriber count. So the last time I checked, we were at 1,318 around there. So I'm just going to move this for a second for privacy reasons. And we went up a lot, actually. We are now at 1,326. I'm so very grateful, truly. Alright, guys, so this is what I have so far. Not too much going on, kind of a solid color. And I believe, let's see, here is the other shade color that I was going to use. And this is on 7%. Alright, so this shade color, I want to focus more in her face features. So, forehead, dimples, nose, stuff like that. I don't want to overdo it and put too much, but I want to make sure that it kind of looks like she, has some shade there. And I also will put a little bit, just here and there, maybe a little bit underneath her chin. Not going too crazy with the color. Alright, and now what we're going to do is just blend that out. That way it kind of looks like she kind of has like a gray undertone, and that I also wanted to look for specifically because I feel like, in my perspective, the Evil Queen kind of has, like that wicked color to her. So I kind of just wanted to give her like a gray undertone a little bit. And this is what it's looking like so far. It kind of looks a little muddy on camera, I would say, but that is also perfectly fine. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is just merge this with the other skin layer, and I believe now I'll just start adding in a little bit of that blush. So I have some pointed out here. This is my blush color, and we're going to put this at 6%, so just one under. And we're just going to add blush on the cheek, the nose, maybe a little bit more. A little bit on the chin. Also add some to her elbow. And I also like to add some of that blush color to like her knuckles and stuff like that. I feel like it gives it a nice look. Don't want to overdo the blush because, yet again, I don't want it to look, you know, too girly pop. I'm going to use my blurring tool and I'm going to just blur this out. So as you can tell, it doesn't, you know, it's not too harsh with the blush. It's kind of hard to tell on camera actually. Let's see if I can. So it's so very slight. It's really hard to tell on camera, but there is a slight blush color there. I don't want to overdo it, like I said, because I don't want her to look too princessy. Yet again, she is taking form of the evil queen, so just kind of like that slight blush color, just here and there. Perfect. I probably will have to blend out a little bit of this, just a little bit. But I think that looks alright so far. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, let's see. I'm actually going to start erasing this layer so it's not so messy. What's up, Carlos? What's up? So I'm going to be very, very careful because I do have a lot of details in this, and I just want to make sure that I get every single area. Very interesting, Carlos. Very interesting. If you're talking about his channel, that's stuff from like years ago, so he doesn't really look like that anymore. It's still a while ago, though. Definitely gotta be very careful around this area. I wasn't so sure if I was going to keep the feather look to her collar, but I feel like it kind of gives it a nice touch. Trying to make sure that I erase everything here. I am almost done with this side. That I accidentally saw Mochi, but I remember how long you have been together. Yeah, I'm not on his YouTube channel, guys. Hello, welcome. Alright, so I want to do a little fun poll for you guys actually. So let me just end this one. Alright, so what do you guys prefer? Do you guys like summer more or winter? Have you ever heard of Digital Circus? Absolutely. I also will be posting a lot more shorts lately for like progress checks and stuff. So I will be posting a short later. I prefer the in-between. Yeah, I kind of do too. I feel like I should have put that on there. But I'm honestly very, very curious to see if people like winter more or summer. Alright, all done with that side, and it looks amazing. There's a little spot right here that I have to erase. There we go. That sounds pretty cool. I've actually never watched the Digital Circus. I've never watched it before, but I believe I've seen clips of it. Just like most of my lives, I will be live for an hour to an hour and a half. Just keep in mind, and then I will be live again on Thursday, except my schedule is going to be a little bit different now, considering I will be starting back my, homeschooling and stuff like that. But I will have time to live stream and draw and stuff, so don't worry about that. Nothing's gonna change much with that. There is so many cicadas outside my house right now. So many cicadas. I haven't heard barely any cicadas until I believe like a week ago I started hearing them. What's up, Carlos? What's up? I should say it. Do you know, it's kind of weird, my favorite song is Daisy Bell. I've never heard of it before. Whatever you gotta say it, go ahead and say it, as long as it's not, anything inappropriate. It was the first song ever sung by a computer. Oh, that song. Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Hello, welcome back, welcome back. What's up, Carlos? What's up? I don't think you do. Even if you did somehow find, you know, profiles and stuff, a lot of things are privated for reasons, so. Alright, so I just got the other side done here. Still trying to be super careful. She honestly kind of looks a little scary right now, but I will be adding the eyeshadow in, of course, as her lip color. I also want to get some more references here as well because I feel like I do want to include more to the dress. Um, so I am going to go on Pinterest real quick. I do want to look at some dresses and kind of look at how some people shade skinnier dresses because this is definitely not something that I am used to doing. So I'm just gonna move this away yet again for privacy reasons, but we are almost done with the skin color, as you can tell. Do have to add some more eyeshadow and lip and whatnot. So currently looking at some references here. Alright, so I looked at some references. I am kind of thinking about adding like a gold look to it, but I'm not exactly sure. I feel like maybe it'll fit in a little bit. I do have an ad here. I hate when I get ads when I go back to my thing. Alright, so like I said, I do feel like I should add a little bit of gold, and I think it might blend in perfectly considering that I will be adding that yellowish color to it. So I'm just going to continue to just erase this for now. And yet again, Carlos, just for, people's privacy and stuff like that, I know, some people may be curious and, stuff like that, but just for people's comfort, considering mine and also my boyfriend, if you could just please, just give us a little bit of privacy. Yet again, obviously, I do share a lot with you guys, and I'm okay with that to an extent, but I also have a private life outside of YouTube as well. And of course, I am okay with sharing, certain things as well, but obviously not everything. I can assure you that he's not. Trust me. I'm trying not to erase these eyelash areas over here. I do want to keep that light brown color. What's up, Carlos? What's up? I believe I got most of this erased over here. I might have missed a little bit, but that is perfectly fine. Alright, let's see how that poll is doing. So 25% said winter and 75% said summer. Let's do another season type thing. So Alright, so here is a tricky one. Do you guys prefer spring or fall? Hello, welcome. I am so confused what's going on in the chat right now. If you posted any newer drawings, sadly I haven't been able to see, unless if it was that last one that I did reply on. But if there is any newer ones in there, I'll make sure to check it out after the live. Alright, so definitely took a minute to get this done, but I erased pretty much everything. And that's it for the skin, so very glad that I got that done there. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is that I'm actually going to... There's a little bit of background noise, oh my lord. So I'm going to use these eyeshadow colors. And I'm going to use this green. I'm going to put this on 23%. And I'm just going to do this top part right here. Thank you so much, thank you. Just like that. So it's kind of like a slight green color. And what I'm going to do, considering I have like very thin archy eyebrows, is I'm going to take this kind of rosy brown color, I'm not exactly sure what that is, and I'm going to put this on 14%. Give you a ranking. I do think they are very well, and I loved every single one of them. I believe that you're very creative, especially starting off in art. What I can say is that obviously, you know, we do take some time to get to where we want to, but they are beautiful and they are wonderful. So obviously keep practicing every single day, and if it's something that you really do love, I'm going to assure you that you're definitely going to get to where you want to be. I am going to give every single one of those drawings a 10 out of 10 because I do love them very much, especially the creativity. So I'm just going to overlay this brown kind of on top a little bit, kind of like that, and I will blend that out as well. Maybe just a little bit underneath, kind of just to give it like that kind of dark look. What brush do you use? I am currently using a graphite pencil, so this is actually my main brush. I use pencil graphite. I use it for pretty much everything, and sometimes I also like to use, I believe I have some downloaded brushes here. Well, I probably don't use them anymore, but I do tend to use some watercolored brushes sometimes, but I mainly stick with pencil graphite. Alright. So I'm going to take this green color again, and I'm going to put this on 24%. And I'm just going to put that green maybe on top a little bit there. Definitely to darken it up. And that way it kind of gives it that dark queen look that I'm looking for here. I'm also going to put maybe a little bit underneath as well. And I'm also going to start blending that out. Just like that. And that way it kind of gives it like that evil queen look that I'm looking for. I also do not like this blur brush. I think this is the brush that I was using before. But like I said, Carlos, or anyone in general actually, just for privacy reasons, please, for my sake and my comfort, my comfort in general, and also my boyfriend's comfort, if, just don't snoop around like that. Obviously, when the time comes, I will do a face reveal and, do a whole video for that, but just for, people's comfort. And obviously I do understand, because if I was in your shoes too, I would definitely be very curious as well. And even if you did see pictures of me as well, some of those are kind of old now, a little bit. I mean, they are kind of new, but they're kind of old. I don't really, how do I say this? I don't really do, as much makeup anymore or whatnot, but yeah, I mean, it is a little bit ago now, but yet again, I do dress a little bit differently and do different makeup and stuff like that when I am pretty much, on my own. But I do love to do like big lashes, and I love eyeliner and stuff like that. I think it's really fun to do. Alright, so I'm going to do some lip here. Put this on 29%. I also wanted to do something kind of like a red color, mainly because, that's what Snow White has. Hello, welcome. So I'm just gonna do this base color here, and I will be blending this out as well. So I know it kind of looks a little weird. And I will erase the edges. Yes, I noticed. That's pretty hilarious, actually. I don't know if you mean that in a bad way, Carlos, or a good way. But, I mean, obviously I don't care what you guys think that, obviously with that, but I guess it makes me kind of nervous a little bit. I forgot to change it, well, but my friends call me that at school. They don't know about your channel. That's hilarious. Hello, welcome. Nice to see that there's more people joining. I will be on live for a little bit longer. I have been on live for, I believe, an hour now, but I will stay a little bit longer for you guys. I also have a lip shade. It's really hard to see the color difference on camera, but I believe this one's just a tad bit darker. Or it might be the same color, just with a different percentage. And I just like to do a little bit of shade underneath the lip. Maybe a little bit thicker, actually. Just underneath and a little bit on top. Just like so, and then I just slightly blend that out. I feel like that is kind of blended there. Alright, so this is what I have looking so far, or have it looking so far. I can't speak today. But this is what I have so far, and I'm definitely loving like how it looks so far. I'm loving the eye look. I'm so glad that I chose that for the eyes. And I'm glad that I kind of kept that like rosy red color for her lips as well. I think that gives it a cool look to it. I do want to add maybe some irises and stuff to her eye. I just feel like I don't know how that's gonna look or not, but we can see how that looks real quick. Just gotta move this reference here. I feel like that makes her look too happy though for some reason. I don't know why. We can just see how this eye looks here first, just like a little test. If not, then I definitely will figure something else out for her eye. But we're gonna do the eye shade first just to see what that looks like. And then that eye color, I stuck with like a brownish color considering Snow White does have brown eyes. So I didn't want to do something too crazy for that. I was kind of tempted giving her like, I don't know, kind of like a reddish brown color, something like that, but just doesn't feel quite right to me for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm not used to drawing eyes anymore. See what that looks like with that eye color again over it. Yeah, I don't know about that, but maybe I do want to change up like the way I do draw eyes a little bit, because I am kind of used to drawing the whole eye in, especially since I've been drawing kind of like creatures and whatnot, but yet again, Carlos, it is okay. Just, obviously for respect, with other creators and, me as well, considering I am a content creator. But just in general, if someone doesn't want to, like, show themselves or anything like that, just kind of have to be, respectful of it. And of course, I'm not mad about it. Ooh, that makes her look angry. I definitely like that look to it, so I think I'm gonna just keep this. Kind of feels like I'm kind of doing like her makeup in a way. It's kind of funny. Hello, welcome, welcome. I feel like that looks so much better now that I outlined like her eyebrows sort of there. She definitely looks like she is more evil instead of like, you know, so bright and pleasant. So definitely like that look going on for her. And I think this is what I'm just gonna keep it as for today. I might work on this a little bit more later on, and I will also be posting some videos of the progress as well. But I definitely am gonna keep it like this, I believe. I feel like this definitely suits her a little bit well. And I'm very glad I actually chose that greenish color for her eyebrow, or not her eyebrow, her eyeshadow. Um, you know, it definitely looks pretty good. I might have to put some shade in this area, but let's see what that looks like real quick. Just blend that out just a tad bit. Just wanted a little shade there. And I hope you guys like this so far, because I definitely was struggling trying to figure out certain things and whatnot, but I think this definitely suits her. Especially that pale gray looking skin. Alright guys, so I won't be live again tomorrow, but I will be live on Thursday. I'm not exactly sure if it will be around 6 or not, but we will see. You guys are hilarious. I'm actually going to do a quick subscriber count real quick before I do leave. I think the last time it was at like 1,326 it was. And now we are up to 29. So definitely feel very excited and kind of proud of myself a little bit actually, because, you know, I definitely worked really hard to get where I'm at. But I will be, you know, checking you guys' comments and stuff like that. Just anything like that in general, I will be checking. And I will be posting another short as well, so you guys can see the progress I made today. I didn't really do much with it, but I will be working on this a little bit again. And I do love you guys so very much. I will see you guys next live stream. Make sure to look out for, you know, that schedule and whatnot. I do post schedules for my live streams and stuff, so look out for that. I usually do 6 o'clock on school nights and stuff like that, Central Time. On the weekends, I believe I do it at around 10 o'clock or something like that, but yeah, my hair actually has been growing a lot. It will be longer than that though, hopefully. Alright guys, I love you so very much, and I will see you guys next live stream. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for watching. Love you all. See you next time.